We're back with another episode of Mike Chuck. This is episode number three this year. Have a long list, not a long list, decorated list. Would that be the list of guests we have today?
That's generous to two of the three.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we'll find out which one you're talking about. But we have the pound for pound girls champ. I think that's clear. Reagan Rossiter is going to join us momentarily. Then we have Creighton Prep assistant coach Rowan Stander. And then we have the man, the myth, the legend, the NEWrestle zone, Drew Kastler. He's going to join us. World's finest?
Ord's finest.
Ord's finest, Drew Kastler will join us to close the show. So big, long show. Going to talk to those three guests and have some fun maybe doing it. So let's just get started, Chuck. What do you say?
I'm in.
Is it money time?
It's money time.
Okay. Reagan Rossiter, the pound for pound female champion. I think that's clear after what happened last week. Reagan, we obviously want to talk about the big matchup that you had. Where's that? In Wilbur, right? Clayton? Wisner. Yeah, sorry, got my W's mixed up there. But yeah, the Wisner match. 7-0, kind of dominant performance in the championship match there. Walk us through kind of your mindset going into that.
Well, I didn't look at my bracket at all until Ranky really said, hey, you'll have a tough opponent in your finals match. And I was like, okay. So I just wrestled my matches before I got my 100th career win. I just took one match at a time, and I had the mindset of just going out there. I know Kaylin's a really tough competitor, but I just went out there and did my thing.
How do you overcome having such a dork as your head coach?
Yeah, that guy.
I mean, that's a lot to have to overcome.
I don't even know. I don't know how I put up with him.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, he's different.
Trust me, I've dealt with him for about 30 years. So
That's it?
That's it.
Man, takes a special kind of human to deal with that guy for that long.
Reagan, you've had a busy off season and a busy season so far. I mean, you've kind of tracked down the best wrestlers to compete against. What's kind of been your goals this year? I mean, was that one of your goals, is to set out to wrestle every tough opponent you can?
To be honest, whoever steps on that line, I just wrestle. And I wish I could have wrestled in Texas, but injuries happen. So yeah.
So you brought up your 100th career win. You are 102-2 in your high school career. That is pretty remarkable. And only one of those losses came to an in-state opponent, the other being a girl from South Dakota who's also, champion. You win a lot. What do you take maybe from every match? I mean, some of them are more dominant than others. But what do you take away from every match? How do you learn? How do you grow? How do you get better?
After every match, I rewatch it. I sit down and talk with Frankie or Bob and see what I can work better on, and then just keep working on stuff that I can get better on during practice. And I just take one match at a time.
Wait, Bob coaches? Wait, Bob actually has good advice?
Gives advice?
Sometimes, yeah, I guess.
Hopefully it's not about hair.
Yeah, no kidding.
What are you trying to say?
Hey, so how much does it help having a lot of your former club teammates on the team with you and seeing their success? Does that push you as well? Do you feed off that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We have a team goal of being team state champs this year, and I can see it real well that we don't even have our full lineup yet with Kenzie Martin being out at Wisner, me being out in Texas, Piper not going to Texas. Just our whole team isn't like really put together yet, but we're achieving a lot of goals already this season, and I think we'll pull it off at the end of the season of being team state champs.
You have a big tournament this weekend. Winnebago tournament's a pretty big one. That's memories for you. One of those losses happened there. You know, you gotta kind of prove it. Is it a prove it kind of tournament, I guess, for you guys as a team?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, there's 31 teams there. So it's going to be a real big tournament, and just showing who we are as a team and succeeding in what we can achieve and pull off that team state title at the end of the season.
So I gotta ask, and you don't have to answer if you don't feel like it. What does the money sign mean to you?
So during practice, I don't even know when it was, at the beginning of the season, Ranky came up to me and was like, we got to come up with a handshake. And I was like, okay. So that was just like our handshake. And yeah, I don't really know.
Just so we're clear to everybody that's watching this, it's in no way disrespectful to your opponent at all.
No, it's just me and Ranky's thing, but yeah.
It's just like kids can't have fun anymore. Is that what we're talking
right.
about? Like,
right.
What are you doing? Who cares? Move on with your life if you have a problem with it. That's just my thing. It's kind of like the backflip thing. Ron Hayden's my guy. Love him. He's great. Everybody likes Ron. But, let kids do a backflip if they want a state championship. If they can. I could never do one. So
wrestling's a really cool sport, and it's really old school, but we've got to adapt with times too. We got to let people have emotions. Mm-hmm. I get why the backflip rule came into place and stuff like that. Makes sense. But I think things like, doing the money sign with your coach or, being able to show out a little bit, I think that helps grow the sport too.
Your thoughts on that, Reagan?
Well, I got in trouble by my mom for doing that, so I won't be doing that anymore. But yeah, I guess.
Did you get grounded?
No, I didn't get grounded. I just was like got talked to, like, hey, don't be doing that. So
we feel like
we'll have to come up with another thing, but
I feel like Chuck. I feel like you and I need to have a conversation about this.
Yeah, tell your mom if she's got any issues, she can bring it up with Bob.
Oh, gosh. You'll take out Bob.
Oh, yeah, that's why I didn't say me.
Yeah. I'm out of that one. Okay, Reagan, maybe one last question here. You are a 3-time state champion, I guess. That's fair to say. Technically 2-time, but we'll go with the Wrestling Coaches Association championship as well, because rightfully so we should. What would a 4th mean to you?
It would mean so much. Being the first girl at Westside to even become a 4th time state champ would be pretty cool. I don't know. It's gonna be speechless. I can already tell that. So
are you gonna cry? Maybe.
Oh, probably. After when I won my first or second one, I saw my dad. I was on the podium and I saw my dad taking a picture, and after I got off, I just started bawling, and Jernigan was right there, and I could see a couple of tears in his eyes, so it was special.
Yeah. Okay, I lied. One last one. Chadron State. Why Chadron? Why'd you choose there to wrestle collegiately?
Just the coaches, honestly. It felt like high school. They've only been there since June, and they have like a relationship with all the girls. And Coach Taylor actually came up to one of the practices last week, and like he's making a difference, I guess. I don't know. Just like it felt like home.
Yeah. It's a gut feeling. That's what I tell kids all the time. You'll just know when it happens, and it seems like a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Reagan, I want to thank you for what you've done for the sport. You've really been a pioneer for girls wrestling, and I know that there's a lot of little girls that look up to you and see you as like a star, and you've done it all with a lot of humility, and you've done everything the right way. So I want to thank you for what you've done to the sport.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one knows how to handle me being nice.
Yeah, you're not. That's why. All right, Reagan. Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck in Winnebago. We'll see you at some point, I'm sure, here down the road.
Yeah, thank you.
Get out. All right, thanks. All right, Chuck. So we got to the bottom of the money sign.
She can't do it anymore.
Yeah. I may do it.
We're gonna have to have a sit down conversation.
You are. I'm not.
Bob is.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Okay. Next up, we have a guy I'm a little excited to talk about for a number of different reasons. And most of it is just the team he helps coach. But I got some questions about what he does in his free time at a wrestling tournament. Creighton Prep assistant wrestling coach Rowan Stander joins us. Rowan, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time.
No problem, guys.
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah.
What's up, Chuck?
You guys are like best friends.
We're
neighbors.
We're cordial.
You're neighbors.
Yeah, we only live a few blocks away from each other.
That's not a neighbor.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
No, it's not a neighbor.
Whatever.
In the neighborhood.
It is not a neighbor. Okay, if you're blocks away, you're not a neighbor. Maybe like the Midtown Omaha.
I'll show you a block, pal.
You tried once. It didn't go well for you.
How's the knee doing?
Who's the one that had to have surgery?
Not because of that. It had nothing to do with that.
Answer the question, brother.
It had nothing to do with you. I'll say that. Feel very good. One of these days, we'll just get my doctor that performed the surgery and talk about it.
I think we need round 2.
Never happened.
I'm retired. I'm retired. Okay, Rowan. So what is this picture that I saw of you with like you had 2 like things up your nose? I don't even gloves on. You were bored.
We were on a little break at the Stampede, and if anyone knows me, they know I like to keep the mood light and have fun. So everyone's just, there's like an hour break, and I'm sitting down by this trainer stuff, and I'm like, I'm just gonna jack around real quick, put a couple nose plugs in my nose, was like putting some gloves on.
He was showing proper etiquette and technique to stop nosebleeds.
Yeah, that's right. Blood time.
Teach them how to do it.
We get it cleaned up quick.
Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. Let's talk about the team now. Because I have multiple questions. But the first one I have is how tough or good, if you will, as a coach, are practices in the room, particularly from like 106 to 32, because those guys are good, and also like they're all around the same weight, so you wrestle, you practice with the same guys. Like it's got to be pretty intense practice.
Yeah, they have some battles for sure. We definitely have structured practice a little different this year. Not every day is a grind. Mondays coming off competition, we use that to break down film. It's a little slower speed, more drilling, more technique. Wednesdays, if we don't have a duel, we usually do combat day where it's a lot of live. And those days can get a little chippy, that's for sure, with those lighter guys. Everyone's kind of fighting to be that top dog, especially when they're all pretty good. Having President and Miles out the last couple weeks have mainly kept it to like Kieran, Kobe, and Cole.
Mhm.
But when we get those two back, it's just gonna add to the intensity of the room.
I was going to ask about President being the only senior of that kind of group of the lighter weight guys. I mean, he's probably shown a bunch of leadership to those guys, I would imagine.
That's right. You know, with his injury, we caught it pretty early on in the season, and you know he's kind of down on himself, and we used that to talk about opportunities and how this is an opportunity to be more of a vocal leader rather than a visual leader and leading by example. Um, you know, he gets to help the guys out with technique and become like, you know, take his wrestler hat on and put more of the coach hat on.
Mm.
Um, so we've really seen him grow as a leader this year, which is awesome to see. He's kind of like a quiet, stoic guy, and this year he's really turned a corner, being vocal and being you know, a well-rounded leader for our team.
Mm.
With all those kids having wrestled club together or known each other for a long time, how easy was it for them to adapt to the culture that you built in the room?
I would say it was pretty easy, especially because the factory was using our wrestling room to practice in. Um, they were using it, you know, a couple nights a week. We have little J's in there, and so they were essentially like 3 practices on some days. So they already got a taste of the room before actually practicing with our team. Um, so the transition was pretty seamless. Um, and, you know, they would kind of come to some duels. So some of the guys got to talk to them before they actually enrolled in school. But as far as them adapting to the culture at prep, I mean, they're all really good guys, and we like to think that we're good guys too. So it was a really easy fit for them to kind of come in and you know, adapt and adopt our culture and beliefs.
You one guy I don't want to leave out in this freshman group, I guess, is JT Smith. Saw him at your guys' invite, lost a tough one against a really good wrestler in overtime. But first of all, he is like rocked up. Like, I mean, he is look like he's a freshman. He looks like he's 22.
He's a hammer, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Is he squatting more than you yet?
He definitely benches more than I do. I don't know about squatting. Probably pretty close. He is he's a horse, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's really cool about JT is he's only been wrestling for like 4 years.
Oh wow.
So he hasn't even tapped into like the top 10% of his potential yet. He's like nowhere near his ceiling. And you know, he's just got so much more to grow and become a more complete wrestler than what he already is.
Is it, and Adonis is another guy we've seen him, Chuck and I, the last 2 years in Fargo do really well. You know, he lost a tough one against a really good wrestler in the finals at your invite last week, and he seems to be, he's just a junior, but I feel like he's been around forever. He's probably more of a leader too, I guess, when you get to that upper weights.
Yeah. So at the start of the year, Adonis and Preston were named our team captains.
Mm.
Adonis is obviously more the vocal leader. The dude can make friends with a brick wall. Like he's got that outgoing personality. And, you know, even if he takes second, it doesn't bum him out. He's still smiling on the medal stand, having a good time. You know, just loving life. And, you know, that's what makes Adonis Adonis is he's got that larger than life personality.
How exciting is it for you to get a coach with one of your teammates at your alma mater? You know, that's got to be, you got to be on cloud 9 with that. And then to see you guys do well as well.
Yeah. So we have another guy helping out in our room. So you're probably talking about Andrew Fisher. We're both '08 alum from prep. So we graduated together, have some history there. But we also have Patrick Rollins back in the room. He was a state champ as a freshman, runner up as a sophomore, and then him and his family moved to South Dakota or North Dakota, Wapton, I think, North Dakota, I believe. And he wrestled and won 2 more state titles there. Then he moved on to Oregon State. He was a Pac-12 champ, 2-time NCAA qualifier, and he lives back in Omaha now, so he's helping us out with the lighter guys. So there's 3 of us that were on the same team together, coaching, and it's just like we never left. We still know how to work hard but have fun, and um, my sophomore and junior year was the closest Prep has ever been to a state title. We got 3rd and 2nd, I believe. And that if Mike, you were in the gym this last weekend, you see all those banners. I mean, we have like gymnastics, NSAA Cup. The one
Yeah.
banner we don't have is wrestling, and we're chasing it hard over these next couple years.
Yeah. I was leads me into my next question I was going to ask you is, you have all this young talent. What's the step, right? Like, is it hey, we want to obviously beat Millard South because they're the top dog right now. And is that the step? Is that this year? Is it next year? Is it the year after? Like, what does it look like to get to a state championship? Because your lineup, if everyone's healthy, you're right in the conversation.
Yeah. So
this year.
Yeah. So one of the things we've been talking about is, we're not coming next year. We're here now.
Right.
And I don't think we name drop teams like Millard South. We don't really care about like beating anyone in a duel. What we want to become is a stepping stone for guys to go Division I. So we want to be that premier program in Nebraska where if guys want to be recruited, we're going to give them the best opportunities to get looks around the country and to find their next landing spot to continue their careers. So winning is a byproduct of that. So we don't really focus on that as much as developing the guys, making sure they're recruitable in all aspects, whether that's sports or academics, being good people, being leaders off the mat. I think that's the next step is just getting guys to buy into that. And then I think a winning is the byproduct of that.
I don't think people realize either that you've got a lot of freshmen this year, but you've still got more people coming in. The train's not stopping with this year.
Nope. Yeah, we got a lot of guys interested. We have some guys committed already. But yeah, I mean, I would say Preston and Tony Prey were kind of the turning point. Those guys doing well kind of brought some eyes to us. And then, Adonis coming in, placing as a freshman, that turned some heads as well. He wasn't even supposed to be there. He's a 500 record going into state. He's losing 14-0, and Adonis does what Adonis does, and he launched that Kearney kid and ended up placing. So I think the writing has been on the wall for a little bit, but people are just now seeing it.
Well, I think Cade Brownlee, you got to name drop him in there too, with being somebody that's really gotten the train going, and at least got some eyes starting to get on Prep.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget Cade wrestled for Iowa for 5 years.
Yeah.
I think he got a couple dual starts, but was never the guy like all the way through. But him just sticking it out 5 years for Iowa, win a national team title.
That's practices too.
That's huge. Yeah. And I think he was only injured 1 year, but he was available to help guys like Abe Assad out and, Jackson Warner or Jake Varner, however you say his name. So, I mean, he was right in the mix with those dudes, like teammates with Spencer Lee and Austin DeSanto. And
The best of
the best of the best. And, he's got that connection with Iowa. So if we ever have, one of these younger guys that are coming up and they're getting looked at, there's our connection right there.
All right, Rowan, thanks for your time. Sounds like you need to attend to some family stuff, right?
Yeah, we're watching Rookie of the Year.
Ooh,
Throw the heat.
funky butt loving.
What just happened?
It's from the movie.
They're quotes from Rookie of the Year.
I don't watch movies. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you dork.
I really don't. So I work, unlike you, Chuck.
Yeah, you got me.
All right, Rowan. Thanks, man. We'll catch you down the road.
Love you,
Thanks for having me, guys. Love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, that's your guy, Chuck.
It's my guy.
Like that is your guy.
Wow. Great dude. And him and Fish are just two great dudes that are doing really good things over at Prep, and it's exciting to see, the talent that they've got this year and in the future.
Yeah, I mean they're stacked. And those from 6 to 32, it is like
unreal.
Yeah. And they're all young, so it's
and they're freshmen too.
What'd you say?
They're heavyweights of freshmen too.
Right. They'll be fine. They're gonna be a name. I name dropped because whatever. But
because we can.
Yeah, he can't. I can. And Nate and my Millard South people, it was not a knock on you at all. It is just
those are the guys.
Yeah, that's the team everyone's gunning for sure, and they should be. So because of what they've accomplished. So all right, I think we want to get into some like serious guts here. I feel like we're gonna get real deep in the weeds.
Oh yeah. You
think we'll get real deep in the weeds or just a little bit?
It's one of my favorite people in the world.
Wow.
I like Drew better.
I thought we were. See the banner up top there?
Like, you tore my knee. You cheap shot at me before a wrestling match, and you tore my knee.
See that right there? What does that say? Yeah. What does that say? Okay.
I don't know why it says Mike first. I'd like Chuck to be first.
Chuck Mike doesn't sound as good.
Fair.
Okay.
Let's just.
What'd you say?
Let's just get Drew on.
All right. Here's the guy, the man, like the guy, Drew Kastler from NEWrestle, our friend.
A wrestling encyclopedia.
Oh, yeah. He is the wrestling insider when it comes to high school wrestling and college wrestling and everything wrestling in the state of Nebraska. Like the insider.
He's out there doing it. He's not tweeting from his
gosh.
He's not tweeting from his basement. He actually shows up to places and works.
Is that the thing now?
That's going to be our thing.
That's the thing now?
I think we just stole that.
Yeah.
You guys put a lot of pressure on me right out of the gate there, though.
We just stole that. Whenever we say something cool, we just do this, Chuck. Yeah. Do the money sign. Okay.
How we doing, guys?
We'll work on that. We're doing all right, I think. So testing out some new technology on my end, which, we'll figure that out later. Looks good, though, I think. Okay, Drew. So you've been everywhere so far, feels like.
Kind of, sure. Yeah. It helps to have a team of people that love wrestling like I do.
Well, you particularly have been everywhere. Yes, you have other people. One guy, we're not going to name the one guy, but there's other people too.
Sure.
That are around. We don't want to name the one guy that is a Gretna homer, but we'll name the other people.
Voldemort.
Wow. Okay. Drew.
Yo.
What has been the most impressive performance that you've seen or heard of or whatnot this wrestling season so far?
Oh man. I mean, this is an easy out, I guess, kind of, but Reagan Rossiter and Kaylin Harrell, just that. I mean, the fact that match even happened is pretty awesome.
No ducking out here.
Yeah, well, at girls wrestling in Nebraska, in order to grow the sport and continue to grow the sport, you need those kind of matches.
Mhm.
It's probably hard for friends to wrestle each other, and unfortunately, some of the best wrestlers in girls wrestling, most of them are all friends,
Mhm.
and so you kind of have to overcome those things, or just kind of understand that it's good for those matches to happen. And so Reagan's already wrestled Aubrey Pearson, 2-time state champion, Kaylin Harrell, number 1 freshman in Nebraska.
Pan Am champion.
Say that again.
She's a Pan Am champion too.
Yeah. I mean, like world level
National
in her
runner.
age group. Yeah, at Fargo, and I mean, we're talking like national level events, and so like the magnitude of that isn't really lost on me at all. I mean, the fact that Kaylin, she bumped up and she won in the match. She took her on, and they wrestle together. Like they know each other.
Did you see? Hold on.
I saw that. How
What
did,
was that?
What's that?
where
Did
did
you
that
see
come
that?
What?
Sorry, there was a thumbs up that came on your screen when you were
right
talking.
next to your head?
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's okay.
Oh, weird. Okay. Did you do that or did I? I didn't.
No, I don't know.
There it
I know
is.
there's
Again.
There it is
There's
again. What
fireworks
are you
going on back
doing?
there.
Oh my
I'm not doing anything.
God. Fireworks.
I'm not doing anything. Let's
I
just
totally
roll with
lost
it though. Let's roll with it though.
Okay.
Oh my God. Are you doing that?
No.
I'm not doing it. I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
There's like not even anything on my phone that I can hit to do that.
Continue your thought.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. The magnitude of that is huge, and I don't know what's happening. When you said you're messing with technology, is that what you're doing?
No,
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
touching anything.
Neither am I. My hands are here.
Give a double thumbs up and see if it does the fireworks again.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God,
Let's
it did.
go.
I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you. I promise you, I'm not
The
touching anything.
outtake of this. There's a lot we could do with that. Okay. So Reagan Rossiter Harold match the best. Best.
I want to add on to that though. I mean, like a little bit with what Drew said is you need that in order to grow wrestling.
Mhm.
You need those all, and I wish that was something that we saw a little bit more of in the boys' side too. Sometimes it's easy to just say, "Hey, we don't want to get a loss here in case."
Mhm.
But I think that's what grows the sport is we need to have those all-star matchups at some point in the season. Matches don't matter until you get to February.
You're right. I mean, and I think you're starting to see that mindset, at least, in some cases, like Ornelas and Unle, they wrestled,
Right.
it would have been really easy for one of them to just go up to 120 and probably win,
Right.
but what's that?
Olin and Palmer.
Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, Olin was battling a little bit of an illness, and he wrestled as hard as he could, and Palmer brought it to him, and we're lucky that we got to even watch that match. That was the toughest weight at Council Bluffs Classic. I don't know if that was talked about or not, but I mean, the dude from Minnesota is like number 10 in the nation. I mean, Olin's ranked nationally. Palmer now probably should be, or close to, or at least be considered. And then Palmer, he's going to have to go through Mason Villwalk,
Right.
to even get to a state title, and we're talking national rankings here.
Right.
So that's awesome. I don't think those two meet up with each other at all during the season, but it's exciting that we're getting those kind of matches. Hopefully on Friday we get to see Josiah Abaruma and Kyler Lauritsen in the duel, which would be kind of cool. I mean, like the season is tough, and sometimes people tweak things, and sometimes matches don't happen, and it bums me out as like a fan of the sport.
Right.
But you also have to listen to your trainers and doctors and all that too.
And Cole Caniglia, you brought up Council Bluffs Classic. He just like cemented his name by winning that thing. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he came out of the gate in Kearney and beat
right
number 1 and number 2, and I think that's then he goes and competes that well at the CB Classic, and Creighton Prep's not shying away from competition at all. They're wrestling a tough schedule. They're going to get into the dual side of things. Listening to Coach Stander there, like great mindset, great coaches in that room, and they're going to obviously be real good. Another. Go ahead, Chuck.
They just got Kobe Streeter in too, which is,
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a huge bump to their lineup. That he's another freshman that you could see walk away with the state title at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, at certain state medal contender, he won right out of the gate at the Creighton Prep Tom Deneen, his first action of the year, which is a good sign. And tougher competition lies ahead, so I'm sure he sees that competition every day in the room, though.
Yeah.
And Creighton Prep's only getting better. Sanchez still isn't even in the lineup yet, so they're going to be in good shape.
I want to switch gears to the girls' side. Winnebago has turned into the best regular season tournament probably on the girls' side.
Yeah, it seems like every weekend there's a tournament or two that's going to get maybe 20 to 30 teams that 4 or 5 are going to be ranked. And so this week is Winnebago, and then you throw in 2 of the top 8 in South Dakota and the 3 top pound for pound girl wrestlers in South Dakota. And one of those 3 will wrestle Reagan Rossiter in all likelihood on Friday. I don't know if it was Reagan's only loss last year, but she did lose to a girl from South Dakota last year. It was a different girl. And so anyways, it's just going to be, it's going to be awesome. Coach Tranmer up there is a long-time advocate for girls wrestling, and he's done a great job helping the sport grow. And I haven't counted all the ranked wrestlers, but they have over 300 on varsity and JV slated to compete there on Friday, so should be good.
And then Bennington is Saturday, right? Their dual tournament Saturday. That's Scott, Lincoln East, Bryan, Bennington, Elkhorn South. It's pretty loaded. It's a dual tournament too. Yeah,
that's big for Bennington and Omaha Scott from the state duals standpoint.
Yeah, to get in. Yeah.
Yeah, Scott's they're not at full strength, not even really close. And if they are not for that event, they're going to run into some trouble getting to Kearney for the state duels. So I'm sure they're probably having those conversations now, trying to get everyone ready to go.
Speaking of Class B and Scott, how about Waverly? They're right on Scott right now, and that's I don't think enough people have talked about Waverly.
I kind of felt that way a little bit too, and no slight to Waverly at all, but I was pumping them up kind of preseason, and then they lost to York opening weekend. Well, what we didn't realize opening weekend, aside from Waverly being short a few guys, is how good York really is.
Oh man, they're tough.
And those 2 could be the 2 best dual teams in the state. Every varsity wrestler in York's lineup has a winning record.
They're in the same district too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun in Class B because right now it doesn't seem like any team's fully healthy. Maybe they don't have all the pieces together. Waverly's hasn't had Peterson in the lineup yet, and then they're missing Grieve at 144. They're not even at full strength. They haven't been. Scott really hasn't been all year without Lindley at 215, and then the Brock Lindley at 120 or 26. So
Harrell's a little banged up. Beatrice, they haven't had Cruz Williamson the whole season at 57 most likely, and Carlin missed a duel against Hastings with illness, and so Hastings took that one. And Hastings is pretty dang good. Like they have a losing record, but they've only lost to one Class B team, and they've beaten Blair, they've beaten Beatrice, and they may not make it to the state duels because they have 7 losses. Those guys are scrappy, man.
They are. They are. Yeah.
Things wrestle. It's like watching a bunch of guys in a legal fist fight. Those guys get after it, and it's really fun to watch.
A lot of those guys are Too Tough gym products. They got a good club out there in the area, and they do a good job at Hastings. You know, I mean, they were state champs a few years ago, and you know, maybe not top 5 just yet, but they have the building blocks. They could get right back there. And
they're young.
They're very young. Yeah.
Hey, I want to move to Class C a little
Sure.
bit. Is Cornelius or John Alden like the pound for pound? Like, you got to go watch this guy. Like, they're the best in Class C, no matter the weight class. Or am I missing something?
You're not. I love that question though, because it just depends on you know, they're too far away in weight to really,
right.
You know, okay. But Cornelius will just absolutely grind you into a pulp. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to be flashy. He'll take you down. He'll turn you. He'll win. Alden, I love watching him wrestle because he's not afraid. He takes chances. He lets it fly. His gas tank is insane. Like I could, even at my peak conditioning, when I was actually wrestling, like I don't know that I could go at his pace for more than 30 seconds.
I remember watching him in Fargo, and I was just like, holy cow. Like,
he's just so smooth to watch.
And he is not afraid to, like, I mean, I can't even tell you how many matches was he in Fargo where it was like each guy had over 10 points scored.
Right.
You know, like and so I mean, a lot of his matches now are like 18-8 against like number 2 in South Dakota. He just, you know, tons of points, tons of energy. It's really cool for Class C to have those caliber of guys wrestling there. Fun to watch.
We're talking about like guys that are really good regionally for sure. Just if you take a whole, you know, from a whole holistic perspective,
Yep.
You know, I don't know what their national ranking is, but they could beat some people that are ranked. To know that.
How about Burbach signing with K too?
Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth. Tristan Burbach, going for his second state title this year. He's probably in that conversation. Signed with UNK. I'm a Loper alum, so that's always cool to see. And then former teammate Drew Garfield's there wrestling 125 and 133 for the Lopers. So little Central City pipeline going there.
Garfield, yeah, imagine that. No,
yeah, right.
It's like a really cool photo. I took a cool photo of him and his dad hugging after a state championship. It was great. So
another couple guys in Class C, Trent Modry, Bishop Newman. He was 2-2 with Sam Andres, who you guys, if you were at Creighton Prep, you saw him.
Yeah,
has been a force.
Yeah, he really has. So Trent Modry, it was 2-2 in the second period. I think he got reversed in pen, but I mean, that's a damn good kid. Let's just be real here. Mm-hmm. And then Quinn Bailey from Chadron. The out west guys don't get
he's
as
good
much clout
too.
Yeah, I mean, Class B state champ in the weight class he won last year. Real freaking deal. That dude is good. I don't know if he's going to play football in college. He's still got another year left. He was a sophomore state champ at this weight. Were, you know, pretty much 12 guys last year in Class B 152 were state medal caliber guys, and I mean, dude's just kind of got the it factor.
Go ahead. One of the most athletic heavyweights that we've seen that probably doesn't get talked about as much because there's Tyson Terry around with the brand from Oakland Craig.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chuck or Mike.
No, I just said JT. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, JT Brand. So the first time that I really got to watch him up close was I wasn't even there, but I was watching the streams at Norm Manstedt last year, and he was in like a dogfight, you know, and he's ranked number 2 or 3, and the other guy's ranked right in there, and he twisted him or cement max or whatever you call it. I mean, you don't see that very often or ever at 285. I mean, that was insane.
And I will tell you, 2 weeks ago, I tuned into the Oakland Craig versus Arlington stream of their duel. And I was like, oh, I'm going to watch JT. Like, I just noticed it. I'm like, I'm going to watch JT. And he was open that night. And I was like, oh, sad. Like I kind of was looking forward to that, but
You guys know he's related to the Brands, the Iowa coaches, right?
No.
Yeah, he really is. I don't know the exact relation, but he is. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there's
Fun
some
hashtag fun fact. Where's the thumbs up now?
No, I'm gonna. Oh wow, I'm gonna do that again.
I was waiting for fireworks to show up.
I just lose it. Is Broken Bow still the best team in C?
Yeah. I was out at the Logan View Invite,
Hmm.
the 16th, whatever that Saturday was in December. So you had Broken Bow, Fillmore Central, Syracuse, Takema Herman, Logan View. I mean, Battle Creek, who could finish second, honestly, if they get their pieces in place. And Broken Bow, kind of clean house. I will say that they probably lost a couple that on paper at the time I wouldn't have had them losing. But they have such a good room, and I don't expect them to go backwards come crunch time. They're a good team. If they stay healthy, they should win Class C. I can say that pretty confidently. But the race for second's the real story in Class C. There's like 8 teams, and it's not a joke. You know, I look at this stuff every day. There's 8 teams that could finish second, in my opinion. So that team race right there alone, just if you're pointing out the rankings based on what they'd score at state, it's like 10 points difference between second and 10th.
Wow, bonus points are gonna be key.
It'll be huge, and it'll be fun. I mean, you know, could somebody separate from the pack a little bit? Yeah, but right now it's not like that at all. It should be fun to watch.
And then switching gears to D, I guess we could just talk about David City as a whole. I mean, holy cow, right? David City High is doing well, and Aquinas is the best in D. You know, it looks like this year. What's going on in David City?
You know, man, I forgot to mention Hayden Schmidt from David City, Class C David City.
Yeah,
that kid is a beast. He beat returning state champion Aiden Wentz like 13-0 the first week.
Oh, wow.
I still think Wentz from Battle Creek might go 113. He could, if he did this weekend at Newman Grove, he could see Ornelas, which Ornelas obviously favored, but that would potentially be a 1 versus 2 match. Aquinas, they just beat Central City in a duel, tough Central City team.
Yeah.
They probably, like, their overall depth may not be where it was last year, but they have like 5 or 6 absolute hammers, like top 3, and in Class D, that's going to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Sutherland, they won it 2 years ago, 2022, and they seem to be trending upward again. Got some young, the Sailors. Yeah, they got some young talent. They're looking probably like the number 2 team in Class D. Shelby Rising City has such a good group of guys, and they lost one of their best dudes. Krafka medaled at 106 last year, was up at 120. I think he's done for the year. So they can still finish top 5, but they're up there. High Plains, kind of similar situation. They have their guns, and then that's kind of about it. But they're going to be up there too in Class D.
You want to know a trivia question while we're doing trivia questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who was the first ever Sutherland Sailor to win an SPVA conference championship?
There's no way I know the answer to that one. The first ever?
Yeah.
Is it Mike Sauter?
It is Mike Sauter.
No freaking way, dude. That is awesome. I'm not even raising my hand anymore. I'm keeping them down here.
No, you know why? Because for some reason they gave my dad the head wrestling coaching job for 1 year and 1 year only, which beyond me how he even got it, which was the first ever year that they had wrestling at Sutherland. And we moved out there for that 1 year, and I was a sophomore, my sophomore year of high school, and I won the conference championship.
Let's go.
At 112.
Uncontested.
Not true. 112, baby. Beat a guy from Grant who was actually pretty good, and I think he ended up making it to state too. But yeah, I'm just saying.
I love that. That's good trivia, man.
It's a great trivia question. They probably threw away everything from that first year because we weren't great, and I was like the sophomore that was the coach slash best wrestler on the team as a sophomore because my dad didn't know what he was doing. So
Your name's way down on the record books now.
oh yeah, it's way buried. But I was the first ever conference champion that they ever had.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
That's a nice little factoid there.
that's why I said Sailors. I just know that off the top of my head because I live there in Sutherland, actually. So yeah. Okay. Class D, like wrestlers to watch.
I love watching Sebastian Sauceda from Shelton. He's a little spitfire. He won it last year with a torn ACL, which is kind of nuts. And then the year before that, he was favored to win and didn't, which I'm sure added some fuel to the fire. I'm kind of curious where Aquinas is all going to shake out with their lineup, but come on. Oh my God. Saying it again. Stop. You guys got to stop laughing. That's
Stop moving your hands.
I'm done. I'm Mary Catherine Gallagher from Saturday Night Live in the pits for the rest of this.
There is. I actually remember now. Like, there's something on the new technology. If you updated your iPhone, it does. Like, you can do reactions on Zoom, on FaceTime and stuff. So it's yeah. Sorry.
Thanks for the heads up on that one.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Where were you on that one, dude?
I just like the fireworks thing. Can you do this again?
I don't know. Oh, I'm not doing it.
It's a double.
Caban Aquinas.
Yep.
3-time state runner-up. He's lost some heartbreakers at state. I think he'll end up at 144. He's been at 150. Obviously, wants to go out with the title. Kelby Sofol, 150, and then Moravik at 57, and then you got your big guys, Svoboda and Brzezina. I don't know if I'm saying those names right or not, but that's their 5 hammers. I like Seabrandt from Wisner Pilger. He returning state champion. Just kind of that same sort of like grinder type, wins a lot of matches like 8-1, 9-0. Not going to take you down and cut you, just going to wear you down and turn you. Fun to watch wrestle. Those are the probably top end guys. I really like the Shelby Rising City kids, the Verbkas. He got at 190 and 285. I think 285 is maybe a little more in question just because I don't know if he's like full size, but they're gonna have they're all underclassmen, I think, so they're gonna be in good shape.
The Verbkas are juniors, I believe.
Yep. So they're gonna be in good shape. I don't know. It's FJELL. There's some good kids coming up too. The feeder program they have going has done a good job in recent years. I assume Aquinas is going to be staying D in the future, but Sutherland, Aquinas is going to lose 2 out of their main 5. And then after next year, like their big 5 right now, they're all gone. So we'll have to kind of see how things all shake out or pan out in D as we go along. We talk a lot about like Creighton Prep being the future of Class A, and there's some other young teams coming up in other classes, but I'm very curious as to Class D. Who's going to drop down from C? Who's going to surprise people? What small town has the support at the kids club level to feed talented kids into the program? Because that's really what it takes to build like a sustained youth club, which is why you're seeing Broken Bow do so well. They have the support at the youth level. Like Broken Bow is just a pipeline. Like kids from Ord used to go to Broken Bow. That's my hometown.
How is Ord going to be? I mean, they historically pretty good at wrestling this year.
Yeah, they're going to be in rebuilding mode now. They had a heck of a run there. Multiple medalists and then 2-time state champ Gabriel, they're gone. So they don't have any returning qualifiers. They're young-ish. They have a lot of football players, a lot of athletes that wrestle, but I don't know that they have guys that have been on the mat their whole life and have devoted their time outside of football to wrestling. Which even in like Class C&D, I feel like we're getting to that point where year-round wrestling is really important. You know, you don't have to go crazy all year long, but like go to some summer camps, and you know, usually there's something within an hour of you to go wrestle at. But yeah, I don't think they have anyone below 132, so it'll be a rebuilding year, but they've done it before and they'll do it again, so I'm sure they'll be good in a couple of years.
I'm gonna go back to Shelby Rising City. I was wrong. They're not all juniors. It's freshman, sophomore, and junior.
I think just one junior, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin Verbka, who, by the way, when I saw them play football in a playoff game, I loved him. Like, he's like a tough dude, just like killing people, defensive end, tight end, or I guess end when in 8-man. So, yeah, those three are actually they're pretty good athletes. So, yeah, that's probably why you see them doing well.
Yeah, and it's neat because, you know, you kind of get used to the same names, you know, especially over a 5 or 6 year stretch. And there are teams like Pleasanton, right, who they have two guys who are top 2, another couple like medal caliber guys. Could they make the state duels? So then you start getting into like these towns and these teams that have never made the state duels, and so they're gunning for it, you know. And that kind of makes things exciting, you know, that once you get into January, you know, there's a lot of speculating. You look at the point totals because is it a perfect system? Probably not, but it's better than just having a committee select them, I guess, if you're asking me. So there are towns that have never made the state duels there's one team in their small town and they have 10 good wrestlers and they're going to try and put all their efforts into making state duels.
Do you have a key to the city of Ord yet?
I do not. I love going back there though for the Ord invite.
You what?
I love going back for the Ord invite. It's usually the last Friday of January. It's a good tournament.
We need to take NEWrestle out to the Ord invite.
I can't go this year because we're doing the NSWCA Girls State Dual Invitational that Friday. So it's the same day. So there's going to be, I think it's out there. I mean, there's going to be 8 of the better dual girls teams in the state. Probably 8 out of the top, let's just say top 12 or 15 girls teams are all going to be at that event. And that's an NSWCA thing. So like Norm Menstedt, Les Painter, kind of the OGs that have gotten girls. Yeah, the Godfathers that have gotten girls wrestling off the ground. They're going to host that event and it's going to be awesome. Like Grand Island's going to be there and there's no question that they're the best girls dual team and regular season tournament team in the state. So, and then you have Norfolk and then you have Millard South and Pierce and Minden and Schuyler, like all these teams that have traditionally been, at least the last couple of years, like full lineups or close to full lineups, and it's going to be like freaking cool for the sport. So I get excited about girls wrestling. That's going to be awesome.
Don't let Bob Mulligan hear you just say that.
Bob can, never mind.
Yeah, keep it family oriented.
Sure, give us a thumbs up real quick.
I'm good.
And before we let you go, can we get?
Yeah!
Oh my gosh!
All right, Drew. And my camera died. That's why I went out for a little bit and had to come back in. I was scrambling. But Chuck actually asked a question, which was great.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah. Drew, we should make this a regular thing.
Okay.
I think I have a plan. We'll talk about it down the road. We won't be as broad. We'll be a little more, zeroed in for you down the
Tell
road.
me how to turn off the hand gesture thing, and then
Whoa.
Then I will come back.
Wow.
A Google link.
Yeah, you can do that, Chuck. All right, Drew, appreciate you and, Cody and you guys and all you do for wrestling in the state of Nebraska, not just high school, but you do some college stuff. It's great. And people should definitely follow along with what you guys do. Chuck and I just like to bring a little levity and do what we can to fill in maybe some gaps. And you guys are the best. You do a tremendous job. And we're obviously, I think we understand we're not trying to take anything away from what you guys do. we know who the best is, and that's clear.
Hey man, everyone loves watching this that I've ever talked to, and I love talking with you guys and working together. I talked to a lot of people about this, and you can never give these kids enough coverage, hopefully what we do is help that, the videos and the photos, and we only want to get bigger and better at it. And shows like your guys's and organizations like NSWCA and then the AAU guys and the USA guys, like that's good for the sport. It's good having that stuff. And I like to think that, if we all cooperate, that's only a good thing for Nebraska wrestling. So.
Yeah, just if everyone else felt the same way. Anyway,
right. Tweeting from your basement.
I didn't say that. Chuck did. All right, Drew. We will talk to you later. Thanks fellas. Yeah. Thanks for the insight. Appreciate you. We'll see you. Well, maybe later than soon.
All right. See you guys in 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was cool. We found out some fireworks emojis or whatever that is. It's not a.
He was so flustered by it.
He was so mad. He was so mad. He was mad. He's like, I was like, what is the thumbs up thing? And then I remembered later, oh yeah, that's a thing on your phone. I don't even know how to turn it off, but the fireworks thing was awesome.
That was cool.
I lost it.
I now that I'm, we're both back to full health, I think we're gonna have to start hitting up some tournaments and maybe some couple duels.
I was at 2 on Saturday. Where were you? Friday. What day was that? Whatever day that was. Friday.
I can't remember what day of the week. Friday I was working.
Oh yeah, I was at 2. I went to the OPS thing. Brian, good showing for Brian. Yeah, got some nice pieces there. So the OPS dual tournament. There's some not great wrestling too, but I was there and then ran and drove as fast as I could to get to Creighton Prep.
I mean, those freshmen at Prep are amazing.
They're coming, man.
Yeah,
and it might be this year.
Yeah,
everyone talks about the future, but they're tough. Like they are definitely tough. And you have another year of Adonis too coming back next year. He's a good wrestler, so get you some points.
Rowan didn't want to drop any names, but they've got some guys coming in next year too that are going to be absolute.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about 8th graders because they're in.
We don't. But I'm just saying, in this instance, for the future, like they're not slowing down.
No, yeah, they'll be fine. All right, Chuck. Well, that'll do it for the longest Mike Chuck episode we've ever had, outside of the state tournament preview show, which we did live at the Hurrdat Sports Bar. By the way, we're probably going to do. We're probably going to do that again.
Cool.
It was successful and it was great. So
we had a crowd.
Yeah, we had a crowd. It was a good crowd. It was about 50 people there. It's a lot. It was roughly 50, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. So anyway, it was a good time. We will we'll see you next year. Next year, 2024, the Mike Chuck Show.
Heck yeah.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.